Provo, Utah, September 16th, 2025. The courtroom in Provo was heavy with tension as 22-year-old Tyler R. made his first appearance before a judge, facing charges in one of the most politically charged killings in recent U.S. memory. The death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, gunned down just days earlier, has ignited fierce debate across the nation, drawing in political leaders, grieving communities, and sparking outrage from the highest office in the land. The suspect, wearing a plain prison jumpsuit, said little during the proceedings. He confirmed his name and listened silently as the judge outlined the charges. Prosecutors had just hours earlier filed murder charges against him, along with additional counts of coercing witnesses. The gravity of the accusations became unmistakably clear when Utah authorities confirmed that Tyler R. could face the ultimate punishment, the death penalty. Charlie Kirk, 31, had built a reputation as one of the most influential far-right voices in the United States. Founder of Turning Point USA, he had cultivated a following among conservatives, especially younger audiences, with his confrontational style and high-profile campaigns on college campuses. That popularity made him a lightning rod for critics, but also a hero to his supporters. His violent death during an appearance at a Utah University campus on September 11th left the nation stunned. Students, staff, and attendees scrambled in chaos as shots rang out. Within hours, vigils and makeshift memorials began appearing, first in Utah and then across the country. Candles, flowers, and U.S. flags marked spaces where people gathered to remember him, mourn his loss, and express anger at the circumstances of his killing. The Utah County Health and Justice Building became the focus of media attention as prosecutors filed charges and briefed reporters. At a press conference, Utah County Attorney General Jeff Gray declared, "We will pursue this case with the utmost seriousness, and we are seeking the death penalty against the defendant." His words signaled that authorities intend to treat the killing not merely as another homicide, but as an attack with political and social consequences. Gray emphasized the charges of murder and coercion of witnesses, saying investigators were uncovering more details by the day. "This is a case that has shaken the community," he added, noting that the trial ahead would likely be closely watched across the nation. From Washington, President Donald Trump reacted forcefully, underscoring how deeply the killing had pierced the political fabric. Trump declared, "Charlie Kirk is a martyr, and I hope the death penalty for the assassin." His remarks, delivered with characteristic bluntness, crystallized the way Kirk's death has become not only a criminal matter, but also a political flashpoint. By invoking the language of martyrdom, Trump elevated Kirk's status within the conservative movement, while also intensifying calls for retribution. Critics, however, warned that such rhetoric risked deepening already bitter divides. For supporters, Trump's words echoed their own sense of loss and anger. For opponents, they marked a dangerous politicization of a tragedy. Scenes of grief unfolded far beyond Utah. Outside Turning Point USA's headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona, mourners gathered in the days following the killing. Some brought flowers and balloons, while others stood silently before makeshift shrines. One man wore a shirt emblazoned with the message, "Long live Charlie Kirk, an American hero." Another mourner, visibly emotional, knelt with a U.S. flag in hand. A woman wiped away tears as others placed candles in remembrance. The outpouring reflected the way Kirk's persona, whether loved or loathed, had embedded itself in America's broader cultural and political battles. Supporters saw him as a truth-teller and defender of conservative values. Detractors viewed him as a polarizing figure whose rhetoric inflamed divisions. Much remains unknown about Tyler R., the 22-year-old accused of carrying out the attack. Authorities have released limited details about his background, but the charges of murder and witness coercion suggest prosecutors believe the crime involved planning and attempts to control narratives afterward. In court, Tyler R. appeared calm, almost detached, speaking only when prompted to confirm his name. Observers noted the stark contrast between the quiet demeanor of the suspect and the charged atmosphere surrounding the case. Defense attorneys have so far offered no public statements, leaving questions about how they will approach a trial that promises to attract national and international scrutiny. Charlie Kirk's rise in American politics had been meteoric. By his early 30s, he had established himself as a fixture on the conservative-speaking circuit, appearing regularly on television, radio, and online platforms. His organisation, Turning Point USA, became a powerful vehicle for mobilising young conservatives, especially on college campuses. Supporters admired his unapologetic defence of nationalism, free markets, and traditional values. Critics accused him of spreading misinformation, stoking culture wars, and deepening polarisation. Regardless of perspective, Kirk's presence was undeniable, and his assassination has left a void within the conservative movement. Kirk's death is not just a criminal case, it has become a touchstone for broader debates about violence, political speech, and accountability in the United States. Conservatives have rallied to his defence, holding vigils, issuing statements, and urging harsh punishment for the killer. Liberals have responded cautiously, balancing condolences with concerns over political exploitation of the tragedy. Analysts say the killing could shape the political climate leading into upcoming elections, with questions about security at public events, the dangers of incendiary rhetoric, and the broader risks of political violence. The case of Tyler R. has put the spotlight back on America's justice system, particularly the use of the death penalty. Utah, like several states, allows capital punishment, though its application has been rare in recent years. For prosecutors to immediately signal their intent to seek execution underscores the seriousness with which they view the crime. Yet the decision also reopens debates about whether the death penalty serves justice or merely perpetuates cycles of violence. Human rights groups are expected to weigh in, and legal scholars anticipate protracted arguments over the constitutionality and fairness of the process. Meanwhile, communities across the nation remain unsettled. Vigils continue, social media brims with both mourning and vitriol, and Kirk's supporters frame him as a symbol of the struggle they believe defines their movement. The trial of Tyler R. is scheduled to continue later this month, with the next hearing already set for the end of September. Until then, speculation, mourning, and political posturing will dominate the public sphere. Charlie Kirk's death, tragic and shocking, has laid bare the fractures within American society. His legacy will be contested by those who see him as a hero and by those who saw him as a divisive figure. For now, the images remain vivid, candles flickering at memorials, supporters carrying flags, and a nation grappling with yet another moment where politics and violence have collided. And as President Trump's words continue to echo, Charlie Kirk is a martyr, and I hope the death penalty for the assassin. The country waits to see whether justice, in whatever form, can bring resolution to a story that has already shaken America to its core.